Hi, I'm Nancy, the Kentucky Garden Gal. I'm coming to you from South Central Kentucky. We are a Zone 7. I live in an 1880 Fauve Victorian where I have been gardening for the last 27 years. My grandmother taught me the love of gardening. It's my passion and I want to share that with you. I have my small city lot absolutely packed full. Backyard chickens, trees, shrubs, perennials, a koi pond, even a secret garden. So let's get started on this week's vlog. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to go over some things that we can do to tidy up our gardens in the fall. And I thought I would start with my own garden and show you some things that I intend to do. So we'll start right here. We have coneflowers and we have knockout roses. So the coneflowers, that's a perennial. This is how they are supposed to look this time of the year. I'll cut them back. The knockout roses, I will cut back to 18 inches. And I didn't get to mulch this spring, so typically you spread compost in the fall and mulch in the spring, but whichever works out best for you. And that's another subject that I want to touch on. Everybody gardens differently. We're in different zones, we have different tastes, we have different styles, and none of that matters. All that matters is that we enjoy gardening. And I see especially beginner gardeners that are just so afraid of doing something wrong. It's really hard to do anything wrong in gardening. I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to unfortunately kill a plant, but that's how you learn. That's how you learn what to do or what not to do. So I'll get off my soapbox and we'll go on down the sidewalk. These little shamrocks, I just let them die back and they will just almost disintegrate, and then I just come and sort of pick them up with my hand. This hardy hibiscus, it is still producing, and I am actually saving every seed pod I can get because I've had many requests for seeds. So I'm just going to keep letting it do its thing, and then later I'll cut it back. This is an azalea. It's pretty overgrown. I'm gonna say that this azalea is about 20 years old. It's beautiful, it's pink. I had a companion that's right here that has just gotten whatever's happened to it, I don't know, but I've had to pull out dead wood. So I'm gonna be pulling both of these out and replacing them with something new. And that's, as a gardener, that's something that you have to do. Plants don't last forever no matter how good of a care you take of them. And in the 20 years since I planted these, there are much better varieties of azaleas on the market. So you see some cleome that is still blooming, and this is so invasive that I have actually moved this to a big pot. So I will grow all of my cleome in pots from now on, and so I'll be weeding and pulling this area out. The hostas, I'll cut those back. As we go around this little curve, it looks like an absolute jungle, and I've just sort of let this do its thing. It's a little bit tidier up front, but I'll come back and I'll clean this up and get everything mulched and in better shape. So we'll take a shortcut through the gazebo. I'm not sure if you can see this on the camera, but this is the ornamental kale, and it is just lovely with the little pansies. So I have done some cleanup around the gazebo. I mainly cut back my hostas. The nandinas, I will cut them probably at about a third of the way down. So that's sort of the rule of thumb. If you're going to work on a shrub and maybe you're not sure exactly how much to cut it back, start with a third, because that's not going to hurt it. The sedum is just coming in to its glory. It's so beautiful. I do want to show you a mistake that I made. So the fall is a great time to trim your boxwoods back, but you want to make sure that the night temperatures fall below 50 degrees, because what happens is they put on new growth. Anytime the temperature is 50 degrees or above, your plants are going to be putting on some new growth. So you can see how those kind of look. And those of you that have planted mums, you want to make sure and keep them watered. The spent flowers, you want to come out and you want to deadhead those. You want to get those out so they'll continue to bloom. Checking the crepe myrtles. This is a trick that I've learned. We really don't do anything to our crepe myrtles until February. These are only, I think, 2 years old. But one thing that you can do, you can cut back when this goes to seed. You can cut this off so that it doesn't drop seeds and you don't have volunteers coming up. That is, if you don't want the volunteers. So we'll move around to the Leaf Hydrangea. This thing has just gotten massive, and I'm going to have to do a really good cut on it. But if I have time, I'll come in and I'll cut these off. Some people decorate Christmas trees with these, and I just have never had any luck. They just don't look as pretty for me as they do for other people. So if I have time, I'll come in. Like I said, I'll trim those off, and if I don't have time, nothing sinister will happen. Usually January, February, the winds will blow them away. This hosta has definitely seen better days, so this will get cut back. I'll come in and top off all the little runners that you see on my bushes and just clean that up. Let's see, moving up to the porch, you will want to take in your plant, like your house plants, and if you suspect that maybe you have some type of bug issues or whatever, you can mix just a couple of drops of Dawn dishwashing liquid with water and you can spray them down. Usually a plant this size I'll put in the kitchen sink and I'll just wash it down good with warm water. Something like this, the palms, I will set them out on a warm day when it's sunshiny, and I'll use the hose to wash those down. Let's see if there's anything else we need to talk about. I wanted to show you how active the butterfly bush still is. I was out looking at it earlier and it's just full of activities with the different moths and things like that on it. And ideally, keeping your plants, especially your perennials that feed the pollinators, that's the ideal thing to do. So I try to keep my front cut back and manicured, but in the back where I have specifically planted for pollinators, I let that go a little bit longer, especially my grasses, things that feed the pollinators. I want to make sure they've got plenty of food. So there's no right or wrong way to do it. You do whatever suits your garden, your situation. If you have an HOA, you may have to keep things a little bit tidier, but if you have a back area that's maybe fenced off, you can let that go a little bit and let all of the pollinators feed off of it. But you do whatever suits your gardening style. You just be you and enjoy gardening, enjoy nature and what God has blessed us with. I want to end this video with some seed saving tips. This is also the time of the year that it's so much fun to go out into your gardens and gather seeds and share with friends and family. There are many seed saving groups on Facebook. If you're interested, if there's not one in your area, start one. It's just simple. So I wanted to show you, typically with, and I'll cover the name of the person that sent me these, you will send a self-addressed stamped envelope and write on the front of the envelope what seeds you are requesting. Because if people are sending out a lot of seeds, they typically, unless they're better organized than I am, they are not going to remember who wanted what. So in this case, this is the African Marigold Mix 2021. So he put this in a plastic baggie in order to send it to me, and let me show you why I'm so glad he did that. When I received this, it was ripped. So had those seeds not been in the baggie, guess where my seeds would have been? Somewhere between here and Utah. So one thing that I like to do is recycle the mailers that I get from Amazon. You can put your seeds in here and then tape it all the way around and stick it in an envelope, and this will help prevent the seeds from getting smashed. And I usually just use a smaller envelope so you don't have that much space left. So before I say goodbye, I actually made myself a list because I was afraid I would forget to mention everything. And let's just go over this for your fall cleanup. Protect your garden furniture. If it's not under cover, you're going to want to either put it up or put something over it. Now is a great time to sow your fall veggies, spinach, peas, turnips, onions, and radishes. We touched on trimming the boxwoods. You can sort out your shed. I've seen this question a lot. People want to know what to do with pots that you've had flowers in. Do you empty the dirt out? What do you do? And yes, you can reuse the soil if you get all of the roots of that plant out. You want to make sure there's no root matter left in your pot. And if it's just something that's really become pot bound, you can dump that out into your compost pile and then wash your pots with a mild bleach water bath. We talked about trimming our perennials. We want to refresh our bird boxes and feeders for the birds. We can give our equipment a good clean and store it for the winter. If you are fortunate enough to have a greenhouse, you're going to want to frost-proof your greenhouse. And the easiest way to do that is to wrap the walls with bubble wrap. Remember to shut off your water connections and winterize those. We've already talked about spreading compost. The secret to any flower, shrub, or tree doing well is soil. So anytime you have an opportunity to amend your soil, that's what you want to do. And then, like we just touched on, saving our seeds. I hope that this has been an informative video and that you all have enjoyed it. I appreciate everyone being here, and we will see you next week.